Tuesday night lights low, sparks fly. War report after dark, better fall in line. From WWE to TNA, AU to Spark. Vince the Prince from the Northeast set it off in the dark. OG Steve led the charge. Cat Al, Eric us, 9 p.m. Eastern. Acknowledge the ring, acknowledge us.
Everybody acknowledge your tribal chief. Welcome everybody to another edition of the War Report After Dark. Roman does it, ladies and gentlemen, survives tribal combat and gets Jacob to acknowledge him as his tribal chief. We got a lot to break down with Clash in Italy and of course Monday Night Raw afterwards. How you doing, Vince?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic, man. Where do you get these?
Isn't that great?
Where do you find these things? Because last week you had a different one, and then this week is like.
Well, I go to YouTube and I just put in metal Roman version, and this is the shit I find.
You know what? So that's props to the guys on YouTube who are doing this stuff.
Man. I know we probably should be shouting them out, but
remixing stuff. I know, right? When you, it's almost like we got to download it and then you got to like write down who it is, but like. That's awesome that it's not just like, you know, the standard stuff. Like people are out there.
Ron, how many different versions have we played on the show?
Ton.
I mean, there's so many
mashups with like the Rock's theme and everything else. Yeah, dude.
And the Usos and yeah, man. So Clash in Italy.
Yeah.
What was your overall opinion of the show?
It could have been an email. You know what I mean? It was one of those shows. Also, there's a reason you should listen to us when we talk. If you listened to last week's episode, you knew what was gonna happen. We pretty much told you beat the whole show. Yeah. Like not that we're geniuses or anything, but I'm just saying. If you listened to last week's show and you didn't watch Clash in Italy and then you read the results, you'd be like, those guys got it. And the one thing that I did not see coming, I shouldn't have said not see when talking about Gunther. 9. We open up the show with Cody defending his WWE championship against Gunther. Gunther already 0 for 2 against Cody. Cody says he's got his number. Even on that promo on SmackDown, he's like, you're not that good. Which is like, damn, you're just going to say that to Gunther like that? But that was the gist of it. The pattern of the match is that, yes, Gunther is an overpowered, big, menacing guy. Cody's the underdog who won't get put down for a 3 count. The only thing that messed it up was the end of the match where they're supposed to do a crossroads and Gunther lands with his foot on the rope. So the ref counts and is not supposed to see it. Count the 3, give it to Cody so that we can get back to a rematch.
It was supposed to be, it was under the rope.
It was under the rope.
The problem was the camera angle.
Okay.
The camera angle was shit.
I thought his leg was supposed to go on the bottom rope.
It was supposed to be under. Therefore, there should have never been a count to begin with.
That's like when everybody thought Dean Ambrose beat Triple H at Roadblock right before that WrestleMania, and Triple H's leg was under the thing. Camera angle problem. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but Gunther took the funniest bump for the crossroads because he takes the crossroads bump and then he does like an extra 2 little barrel rolls to get to the ropes. I'm like, oh, come on, man. We could have just set up closer. Like, if you're gonna do the crossroads, set up closer to the ropes. So it's like there. I don't know. So I understand what they were doing. I know that it's coming up on a rematch for Gunther. But the problem is now, even though he was screwed and it shouldn't count, he's 0 for 3 against Cody. The next one is we're in LA Knight, Sami Zayn. He's got to win or he's fucking toast territory. Like, and I'm not saying Gunther's whole career is toast. I'm just saying his title aspirations for the year 2026, if he can't get the job done against Cody, better luck next year at like the Royal Rumble or something.
So we'll have to circle back because let's retouch on that. Because,
yeah, there's a lot to talk about with this match.
Well, and there's a lot that stems from Raw that makes me think why Gunther actually is going to win the title. Here's what I will say. Overall, I thought the pay-per-view was okay. The crowd, once again, made the whole show. The crowd was so hot from the start to the end, singing. They sang entrances that have never been sung before. You know, like whoever sang Brock Lesnar's theme music. But they figured out a way to do it, and Brock even got into it. Like, the crowd made it for me. The international crowds are always fantastic. So, that I really enjoyed. Cody Gunther, yeah, it kind of went the way we thought it would. It definitely left itself open for a rematch. And I do think Gunther, next time they meet, is going to win. And I'll circle back as to why.
He's got to.
Yeah, I think so. We don't necessarily need to go in order because I really want to talk about Oba and Brock.
No, yeah. We let's get to that because there's some other stuff that's not as important. And, you know, we had 2 championship matches and then that Brock Oba, which is basically a championship match.
Bro. We said the Mania match was perfect in terms of fast-paced, hard-hitting, short, sweet, right to the point.
Right.
I didn't know what to really expect in this one. And it was, again, perfect. It was a little bit longer. Brock figured out another way to go after Oba using the submission hold. The fact that it took 7 F5s to put Oba down, one of which was through the announce table. I mean, it was great. I loved everything about it. I don't think it hurt Oba in any way, you know, and it is funny. And Eric has been hammering this point home on our chat. This is something I do agree with, is that you've got internet people, you know, running their mouths now. This is it. They squashed Oba. His whole run is over. Like, did you watch Raw? The man is probably going to win King of the Ring. And we'll get into that more. But with the dominance he showed you, it didn't hurt Oba in any way. It took 7 F5s, ladies and gentlemen. 7 F5s to put him down. And he still got up. So the question now remains, will there be a third?
Oh,
and they did kind of leave that window open for a third.
Well, somebody taught Brock how to count. He like went 1 and 1, and then he counted to 3. Like, I don't know. It seems like they're definitely setting it up for probably SummerSlam.
Yeah. Rake Shreddy 5653 over at YouTube says hello. What's going on? Welcome to the show. So yeah, I really enjoyed that match. I really did. I'm excited. I hope they do a third, but I feel like if they do a third now, there's got to be some kind of gimmick to it.
Yeah,
Put him in a cage or
yep.
something.
It's Hell in a Cell, Last Man Standing, something like that. There'll be a stipulation appropriate for it.
So I do kind of want to. I want to kind of jump now in between Clash and Raw. Because they started the King of the Ring tournament. Oba was in a 4-way where he dominated.
Yeah.
3 other men, became victorious. I don't see any way that he does not become King of the Ring unless Brock Lesnar causes him to not win that tournament. If Brock is not a player, I don't see how Oba doesn't win, which then makes him number one contender for SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
It makes more sense for Gunther to have the title than Cody at that point and have Oba Gunther.
Yeah, no, I'd love that. I've been listening to some different podcasts and stuff, and that was a suggestion. The other suggestion was that Gunther takes the title from Cody, Brock could take the title from Gunther, and then he defends the title against Oba, and Oba wins the title at SummerSlam.
Right.
Which is fine.
I mean, that would work too.
Whatever it is, listen, this is no knock on Cody Rhodes. He willingly gave up his WWE contract to go to the Indies to help start AEW. He had a 3-year run there. When he felt that things weren't going his way, he came back to WWE to a hero's welcome, so hot that he main evented the next, 4 WrestleManias in a row.
Yeah.
This is no knock on Cody. He had a great run. It is now time to flip the script and go with Oba, because here's you run no risk. If Gunther takes the title off Cody, it's very believable. If Cody at one point gets the title back from Gunther because he's already beaten him before, it's believable. If Cody loses to Oba, you're not losing anything, because obviously Cody has trouble with Gunther. Of course, he's going to have a lot more trouble with Oba.
So here's something else I'm having an issue with now. Before I do, Maricela Medina, D4D at YouTube, what do you think about Rey Mysterio? I mean, what exactly are you looking for? He's a legend.
Yeah.
He's one of the greatest of all time. I love the fact that he can still go. I love that they're giving him more of a role in AAA.
Yeah,
I love how we're going to see Rey versus Penta for the title. I think that match should be great. So I can't say enough great things about Rey. He's one of the greatest of all time.
You forgot his biggest accomplishment, having Dominic as a son.
Oh, who is the future greatest of all time.
He really, you know what?
He's amazing.
Go back a couple years. If you're listening right now and you want to hear something, go back a couple years during the pandemic to when this kid first debuted. I will tell you with absolute certainty, we shit all over this kid. It was bad.
It was real bad.
It was that Thanksgiving thing, that Christmas where he got arrested and spent one night in jail, and all of a sudden he's a hardened criminal. It was that thing, the pairing with Rhea Ripley, the mommy thing. It's amazing the turnaround that kid's had over the last few years.
Here's now where I have an issue with everything that you said, and not that it's an issue. I don't mean it that way.
Right.
So now you have the bloodline back together, and we'll dive more into that.
Yeah, we will.
But there was a backstage segment where Roman says to Jay, "You've never tasted the other belt. You need to win that belt." And then we have all the gold. Now imagine a face bloodline with all the gold. You got Jay as world champion, Roman as world champion. That's a whole nother dynamic of the bloodline we've never seen. Now you also have Jacob, who is now been leashed, and we'll get more into that. So if they go the route where Jay wins the title, so now there's so many, you know what I'm saying? The only great thing about all these scenarios, it keeps Oba away from Roman. And you want to do that for as long as humanly possible.
Yeah, that's a money match. That is,
that's a WrestleMania down the road. Let Oba
it is. That would be
a crown jewel. Like they're both champions at that point, and they have a crown jewel.
They could have a champion match. But I think it should be Oba's Rock versus Hogan match in terms of an older, it should be at a point where Roman's ready to be even either retire or be even less active than he is, put over Oba in a big match of the clash of the past, torchbearer and the future torchbearer. And you've got yourself set up for as soon as Oba pins Roman, he is a made man for the rest of his career.
Yeah. Well, and we'll, yeah. So let's let's talk tribal combat. I want to know if you agree. Let me start it this way. I thought the match was great. I loved everything about that match. But I was underwhelmed. And I don't know if I was underwhelmed because of past tribal combat matches and there was a lot of shenanigans and a lot of surprises.
Right.
You know, so maybe mentally I was prepared for that. And I didn't get that. But then on the other hand, this is all about a different Roman showing and proving that he doesn't need anyone else, that he can do it on his own. So I understand why there was no shenanigans. But there could have been on Jacob's side.
Yeah.
You know, would have been a great opportunity for Zilla to make an appearance. You know, so, but that doesn't take away from the fact that I loved the match. It ended the way we predicted it would, that Jacob was not going to win. Then you go to Raw. And it opens with Roman and the Usos.
Mm-hmm.
And that crowd for Roman Reigns, this is why you had to put the belt back on the man. This is why you had to bring the bloodline back together. Because you get a crowd like that where the cameras were shaking because they were so loud. Roman couldn't speak for 10 minutes because they were just chanting and singing and acknowledging their tribal chief, which is where Roman could have been like, I don't even need to ask you to acknowledge me because you already have. But of course he still had to say acknowledge me. And then they did it all over again for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was awesome. It even got Roman to crack and break a smile. And then, of course, Jay demands, he makes a comment like, damn, he's late on his first day on the job, calls Jacob out. Jacob comes out. Words are said, but in the end, Jacob acknowledged his tribal chief, got down on a knee, extended the hand, and then threw the one-up. So this is happening. We have a new bloodline with a Jacob that has been leashed. But the greatest part about it is Roman can unleash him at any time, and now he's with them. It also looks like they're teasing a rerun against the MFTs. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I'm loving that idea, unless in the end they all acknowledge Roman, and now you just have this massive, like that could be different. So there's a lot of possibilities and a lot of different ways it can go, which is exciting. Flyball. Bloodline story been going on for longer than the entire Attitude Era between 97 and 2001. Should have probably ended with the final boss stuff. I don't know what the payoff can be now. Well, that is a very fair point. But this is a different take on the bloodline. And at the end of the day, Roman puts asses in seats. And people still love the bloodline. I mean, I'm for one, like I am one of them that I could see it going on till the end of time and I'd be okay with it. I just love everything about it. I love the dynamic of the family and there's no outsiders at this current time either. You got no Paul Heyman. You have no Sami Zayn. You have bloodline. So it's a different dynamic for me and it's also a face faction now to a point.
Right.
You know, it's a different version. So I see big things going. But also, realistically, how long is Roman hanging out? Is he only full-time through the summer? Because that's kind of what he implied. Or will it go longer? I mean, dude, when you come out to that kind of reception, you can't tell me that you want to leave and not feel that. You know what I mean? Next week, I think they're in France. The crowd's going to be just as crazy.
Yeah, the international crowd's always a plus, and it'll still be the same reaction when they get back to the U.S. Probably
we're too spoiled. We don't give them that kind of reaction because it's just saturated.
Yeah,
these guys get it once a year. I mean, well, and in Italy's case, they've never had a Raw. They've never had a pay-per-view there.
Yeah, they've only had the Clash a couple times. I think this bloodline thing, I agree. I think once Cody finished the story and the final boss and all that got sent packing, to continue it into the next year and then have it complicate the Cena Romans, I don't know. There's so much going on with it that they didn't need to do, that if they just let it sit for a year or two and only kind of have it in the background implied, these guys used to be in the bloodline together, all this stuff, then you have this big reformation of the bloodline. It would mean more. Now it's just kind of been like they've been cycling people in and out, and there are a couple of middle points that drag a little bit. But now with Jacob in the role of Jay from just a couple years ago, we've got a different story, because Jay and Jacob are going to react very differently to the same set of circumstances.
Well,
and I think it's more plausible that Jacob by the end of this is the tribal chief and the champion than it is Jimmy or Jay when it was their turn to go against Roman. I think Jacob's the one to do it.
See, now I agree with that, number one. But number two, it's like I said last week. This is starting it over. Jacob is where Jay was at the beginning of the bloodline story last time.
Exactly.
And he's going to be resentful, and he's going to be hesitant, and he's going to do things reluctantly. But eventually, he's going to learn to love his tribal chief, just like Jay did. And they are going to be an unstoppable force. Flyball, he does for sure, but I do feel like it's silly with the OTC when a 50-year-old Rock came back, kind of put Roman in the passenger seat and left again. Fatu, Oba, Vision kind of need to eat too. So here's what I'll say to that. Yes, I agree. Vision need to eat too. Oba, all of them. Yes. Let's start with the Vision. There is no Vision right now.
Yep.
Yeah. They're all hurt. I mean, yes, Bronson's going to be back soon, but the other Bronson looks like he got hurt again last night, so he might be on the shelf again. Logan Paul's now out 6 months or 6 weeks, one of the two. And so it leaves it's fucking
is Austin Theory injured?
Austin Theory. No, he's fine.
Back. He came back from an injury.
But he's the only one not injured. Yeah. So for the Vision, I mean, that's on the back burner for a while.
Yeah, that's
Oba,
tough.
Listen, Oba is good. He's going to either, like I said, he's going to win King of the Ring, or he's going to have another match with Brock, and he's going to continue. Oba will be champion by WrestleMania, if not at WrestleMania. Mark my words, it is happening for Oba, so you don't have to worry. And Fatu, this is just going to make that story so much more, because he's so good, and they all work so well together. I'm telling you, just hang in there and watch it play out, because I have a good feeling about this version of the Bloodline. And there's going to be many more surprises down the road. So I'm liking where this is going. I'm excited, and I'm really I want to see them together again. You know, if you wanted to bring Sammy back in the fold, I'm good with that too. I always like the honorary Uce, but they're kind of doing some crazy shit with Sammy right now. So who knows what they're going to do with him? You got the LA Knight factor. He's turning heel soon. Every Easter egg is being planted that he's going to turn heel soon, because he's shitting all over the OTC, and the fans love the OTC. So now you're going to have an LA Knight. What if LA Knight joined the MFTs?
I was going to float what if Sammy did, because if they're both potentially heel.
You do that too.
Because we've both acknowledged the problem with the MFTs right now is that they released most of them and there's only 3 left. So if you're going against a 4-person bloodline, whether it's another Fatu like Zilla coming out of the woodwork, or whether you flip LA Knight, or whether you have Sammy, who's a heel now, go against the bloodline by joining the MFT, long story short, MFTs need a 4th person if they're going to compete in this at all.
And it just leaves a lot of different directions that they can take. So it's going to be really interesting to see how everything unfolds and which decisions they make. Flyball. I do feel like Fatu will go over and clean too at some point. I just hope it doesn't take as long. You know, I don't think it will. I mean, listen, WWE, no matter what storyline is telling you, they are very high on Jacob Fatu. They're putting him in main event situations. They're putting him in a tribal combat match with the biggest name they have on the roster next to CM Punk and Cody Rhodes being Roman Reigns. So, you know, he's positioned well. And he's obviously impressing the right people. So it is just a matter of time. One thing that tribal combat match taught us is Jacob can go all the way. Jacob can be your tribal chief. Jacob can be your world champion. But right now, it's still about Roman Reigns. And there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion, because, again, watch Roman on Monday Night Raw for the first 30 minutes of the show. It tells you everything you need to know when it comes to Roman Reigns.
And, you know, depending on what your definition of too long is, I don't know if they're going to speed this up and put the title on Jacob at SummerSlam. And I don't know if maybe they'll put it on him at the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, but I think much like Oba, WrestleMania is the drop dead date for it. He's winning a world. Oba and Jacob Fatu are winning a world title either before WrestleMania or at WrestleMania. And I'll make an even bolder prediction for you, since Flyball seems like a big Jacob fan. The scene we saw on Monday with Jacob taking a knee and acknowledging Roman, we are going to see that at WrestleMania or the Raw after WrestleMania reversed, when Jacob is the champion and he's wearing the Ulafala, and Roman has to acknowledge Jacob because he won the match.
I also want to just throw out, since Flybrawl brought up The Rock, as long as Roman is your tribal chief and world champion, it still always leaves that door open for the Rock Roman match that people have been wanting for years. So they have so many different potential ways they can go. So just sit back and enjoy the ride, because I think I'm excited. I love Roman. I love the bloodline. I love their black together. I kind of miss Paul Heyman being a part of the bloodline too, to be honest with you. But
yeah.
But there's no way you bring Paul back now.
You can't.
He's dealing with the vision that's not a vision anymore. So,
and you know, how are they going to take him back? How are they going to trust him?
Bro, you can't. And Braun Breaker, God damn it, man! I guess they rushed him back too soon. They didn't give him enough time. I saw videos of him hobbling around. It does not look good. They haven't said anything yet, but I don't know, man. But Bronson, we said it last week too. Pictures are starting to surface. He's looking bigger than ever.
He's looking jacked.
He's jacked as hell. So I'm excited to see him. I mean, him and Austin Theory together could be, you know, either that or now they're going to have to relinquish the tag titles.
Oh, right. Yeah, unless they freebird him over to the other two. I mean, I don't know what.
Well, they already did it. They had Braun Breaker take it. Now, if he's hurt again.
Right, you're going to do it again? Yeah, I know what you mean.
Right.
But on the flip side, they don't give a shit about tag team wrestling, so they'll probably just give the title to Bronson. Like, they don't.
You know, which is so amazing to me, because Triple H was always a big tag team guy.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it.
And even when he was booking NXT, you had American Alpha, you had DIY. I mean, there was Mustache Mountain, the tag team division. Fucking what's her name? Montez and the Street Profits were in there. I saw a ladder match when they went to Bridgeport for NXT. Was it NXT 25 or NXT 35? Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole were the main event, but there was a tag team ladder match, and the Street Profits won it. And
they're incredible.
It was they were amazing. The whole match was amazing, and it even had the Forgotten Sons in it. Like, if a match is good and it has the Forgotten Sons in it, like, you know it's a good match.
That tells you something. Yeah,
because we already forgot about the Forgotten Sons.
Yeah, no, it's they got to do a better job. Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill at the Clash. I don't know what kind of backlash I'm going to get for this one, but I think it was Jade's best performance yet.
Oh, I was just gonna say, she found that Nia Jax suddenly I'm good at wrestling at age 45 gene. I don't know what she tapped into, but like finally, like I don't know what you had Bryan Danielson and Dean Malenko in AEW and Kenny Omega trying to teach this bitch how to wrestle, and she couldn't do it. They had to send her over to
Well, you remember too, there's the way to wrestle, and then there's the WWE way too. So a lot of it is breaking bad habits too, because WWE likes things done a very certain way. So I'll give her that. But I thought this was her best performance yet, and I don't know how much of that is really contributed to Rhea making her look great. But I thought the match was great. I'm glad to see that Rhea is still the champ. That was the right decision. And it was a great finish. I enjoyed that match.
And Charlotte
coming to help. That was great. I like how Charlotte and Rhea are getting along now.
Yes.
We'll see how long that lasts, because it usually doesn't. But I like how they've kept Alexa and Charlotte together still. So I'm happy with all that. Soul Ruka Becky Lynch, ladies and gentlemen, she finally hit the Soul Snatcher.
I mean, thank God. That was of all the ones you needed to hit.
That's what we said, right? We said if she doesn't hit it in this moment, she needs to change her finish, and she hit it.
Yeah,
and it looked great.
I also think maybe, now that it's happened, you kind of take like the Shockmaster tack of it and like take it and make it into a story where it's like the way she wrestles is so uncontrolled and wild that she might not be able to hit. Can she actually hit her finisher? Is she just going at 100 miles an hour and she misses a rope? Like the drama of whether or not she's going to hit her finisher successfully could be built into her story now.
Yeah, that's true. She did such a great job. It was really a great match. And I'm glad to see that they gave it to her. There was I want to see if I can find it. Becky Lynch, right after the match.
Oh boy, here we go.
The next day. Last night, I was once again robbed of my title by Crooked Carr. Clearly, I had so sad Saul pinned for more than the count of 3 when Carr inexplicably dove out of the ring. A total mess. I soldiered on, but suffered a severe hematoma. My lawyers are looking into Rotten Ruka's footwear. They suspect that's not regulatory. Doctors say they're shocked I was able to continue, but I told them, you can't hold down the man. She is so fucking great. I love her so much. And obviously we're going to get a Becky Saul rematch. But I'm glad that they gave Saul the rub. I'm glad they gave her the title. The crowd was definitely happy for her. Now let's see what kind of run she has. She says that she's going to be a fighting champion, so we'll see.
I think the other thing, not just, you'll get your rematch because Becky was the champion and all that, but I think the match to make, now that she's been training for all these years and will probably shock people to, people who aren't paying attention won't know she's trained as a wrestler. Jessica Carr has to have a match against Becky Lynch. I think that is the absolute move that by the end of this.
Well, so now the question is, does that something that happens at SummerSlam, or do you continue this to have a Mania match? I mean, Carr has done such a great job. I think you give her a Mania spot.
I mean, you could very well keep. It's been going
it's
for
so
long.
Personal. It's so personal between them, and Becky is so gold that they can really make this something special.
Yeah. Do you remember? And we're gonna go way back to a weird storyline that maybe nobody remembers. In the late 2000s, early 2010s, TNA, there was a guy named Shane Sewell. And he came out. Shane Sewell was a fully trained wrestler who spent most of his time wrestling in Mexico. He was an American wrestling in Mexico. He used to wrestle with Sean Morley, aka Val Venus. down in Mexico when they were first starting out. So he carved out a career in Mexico and the Indies and all that, but came to TNA as a referee and just for like months worked as a referee Shane Sewell, whatever. And then Sheikh Abdul Bashir, who was Davari back in WWE, he started bully. It was a similar kind of thing. He started bullying Shane Sewell. He's like, he would get in his face during matches. You're screwing me over. Finally, at one point, Shane Sewell knocked him over. Like he knocked Abdul Bashir over and the person rolled him up and he fast counted him. So they said, okay, here's the match. It's you versus Sheikh Abdul Bashir for the X Division Championship. The stipulation is you have to surrender your career as a referee to sign a contract to become a wrestler. And if you lose,
that's great.
You're out. So they could do that with Jessica Carr. They could have Adam Pearce or whoever, sit her down and they have 2 contracts. They're like, this is your referee contract for the next 5 years. And this is your contract for 1 wrestling match against Becky Lynch. And if you don't win, bye-bye. I would love that where because I think what's going to happen is a lot of people, just regular fans, don't know that Jessica Carr has been training as a wrestler down in Florida.
Yeah.
So the second she hits a wrestling move on Becky Lynch, the crowd's going to shit their pants.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just the reaction's going to be amazing. So I think that's the moment. And then the other moment is when finally she gets so, and this was a moment that happened in TNA as well. He got so mad, he ripped the referee shirt like Hulk Hogan. And he's like, I'm not a referee anymore. He throws his shirt down and I'm a wrestler. And if she does that and she takes the shirt off and she's like, no, and she gets her face. Oh my God, what a moment.
That would be great. And there's so much they can do. I'm excited for that. But I think that's going to happen. Mysterio, Dragon Lee versus Rusev, Ethan Page. I'm so big on Ethan Page right now, and I love him and Rusev together. I'm going to love it even more when they go at each other. Rey Mysterio got over, which I was happy to see. Then you had the women's Fatal 4-Way, which was the start of the Queen of the Ring tournament.
Yeah.
You had Io, Julia, Lash Legend, and Roxanne Perez.
I think
Sky wins.
Yeah, I mean, it's good choices. I think Julia, it's weird. Julia and Liv Morgan, who both have Italian ancestry, not on Clash in Italy. At least Julia gets out there.
Julia
on TV,
speaks fluent Italian also.
Yeah.
Like, she should have come out and cut a promo.
I know.
Italian, it would have blown people's minds.
It's these little things, man. It's these little missed opportunities. Not everything has to be a WrestleMania moment, but something like that, that's a thing that you could keep replaying for eternity.
Yeah.
She comes out and as soon as she starts speaking Italian, they all start cheering. It's like you could just replay that and show it on social media and everything, like for the rest of her career.
Yeah. I want to shift gears a little because I want to throw out there that if you did not watch AAA,
oh boy,
and if you did not watch the year-long build and the conclusion of the mask versus mask match between Grande Americano and Grande Americano, you are missing out on quite possibly match of the year. That match was everything a wrestling fan could want. The crowd was incredible. The match was incredible. The finish was incredible. Chad Gable revealing himself, cutting the promo at the end, doing everything the traditional way that you do when you get unmasked in Mexico. Loved everything about it. It was so, so good. Amazing storytelling. What was great about that whole thing is that Chad Gable was the heel Grande in Mexico, but in the U.S., Ludwig was the heel.
Right.
And it was, but in the end, Chad Gable got a standing ovation from that Mexican crowd. He earned their respect.
Yeah.
He is by far one of the best technical wrestlers in the game. No doubt about it.
If he was a foot taller, he'd already be a world champion. That's just the sad fact about it. Is like, it doesn't matter if it's Vince McMahon or Triple H or HBK. They're all going to look at this guy and they go, "Oh, he's 5 foot nothing. Screw him." And it's like, you don't understand. He's a great promo, and he can wrestle his ass off. He's legit. I think,
and he's a hybrid because he can do it both ways. He can be heel, he can be face, and he gets over every fucking time.
And he's added this new layer of offense to his arsenal that's lucha libre influenced.
Yeah.
And I think the match, everything was great. Hard hitting, there was blood, whatever. The baby face went over. The stipulation was adhered to. He took off the mask. He said his real name. Well, his wrestling, you know what I mean.
His real name. Well, right. His real name, date of birth, where he was from. All
he did the whole thing.
He did the whole thing.
And if you noticed,
and he left them with gracias.
his kids were wearing his mask, and after he lost, the kids took off the mask too. Yeah. He also said, he's there. He unmasks. He says all this stuff. He's dripping blood, but then he says, "I put on this mask and I came to Mexico to learn lucha libre." He cut this very sincere promo about like you said, earning the respect, and it was also, it was two ways. It was Chad Gable earning the respect of the Mexican fans, but it was also Chad Gable, the wrestler in character, gained respect for the art of lucha libre, because when it started, it was a mockery of Mexican wrestling. And by the end of that match, he acknowledges that he learned, and that, lucha libre is a viable thing in 2026 and all this stuff. Like, just the way he was able to take that, because you could just go right at the end of that and cut a heel promo, and he still heel Chad Gable. That promo, it was perfect.
I don't think Chad can come back as a heel at this point.
No, not at all. Not even.
He's got to be a massive baby face. Yeah, he's got to be a massive baby face.
Show that promo. Do what WWE does best. Find a good song, clip up the match to the song, and then have Chad Gable's promo at the end, the blood, the whatever, and I love lucha libre, I love Mexico. Boom, fucking baby face. Because there are so many Mexican people living in the United States, all across the United States, where if they see that, if they didn't watch AAA, then they see this, they're like, okay, this guy is now up there as one of my favorite. Like,
you can always put him back with the Alpha Academy, because I have a feeling Maxine Dupree is going to be leaving them shortly and going with Vision. So that would leave a spot open for Chad to be like, "Hey, brothers, I'm back," kind of thing.
Well, they had that backstage segment on Raw, and I was watching this going, here comes Chad Gable. He's going to come back and be like, "Hey, we need to get Alpha Academy back to being, elite performers." And it didn't happen. But I think you're right. I think she's going off her own way. Chad Gable coming back and kind of bringing some other guys. I don't know. What are those twins? Julius and Caesar or whatever.
The Creed brothers. Yeah, why don't you put them all together and make it one big faction?
Like an actual academy. So it's not just 3 guys and you're calling it an academy. Right. It's like a whole dojo of people that he's training.
Yeah.
Because those guys, Otis won a Money in the Bank. Otis is
good.
He's over, and people like him. And
he's funny. He's a big boy.
Tozawa's hilarious. Tozawa's always been hilarious.
Tozawa is just there to just get people over, but he's so funny. His facial expressions, he's great, and he's another one that can really wrestle.
Yeah,
he's really good.
I was just gonna say his 205 live run there where he was champion. Oh my God, he was wrestling his ass off. And it's just one of those things where, he's in a spot where he's putting people over. They don't have that light heavyweight, 205 cruiserweight, whatever you want to call it, division. So, he's doing what he needs to do. But I think it would be interesting if Chad Gable came back and he said, "No more jokes, guys. You are going to take this shit seriously, and I'm going to get you into shape." And they do
but
all the training.
I like Goofy Otis though.
Right,
Like, I don't want a serious Otis.
And I don't think they would be entirely serious, but I think what they would do is, in my mind, it's like Revenge of the Nerds or one of those 80s movies where they're like training for something, and it's like Chad Gable's trying to get him to do push-ups, and every time Otis does a push-up, he's like biting on a donut or something and then coming back up, like stuff like that. But then by the time they have a match, the training somehow it worked, and Chad's like, "Oh my God, I'm a genius. This actually worked." And like they can be legitimate wrestlers while still being funny, but they can be, once they get some more wins under their belt, they can be taken seriously as a tag team.
So, there's another rumor going around. And I wanted to know your opinion on this one.
What's that?
The rumor is that it might happen in NXT. But I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it happening in NXT, and and why it wouldn't just happen right to the main roster. And I mean, imagine we get a little Enzo Amore and Big Cass, who I'm hearing his contract is up in AEW soon. Are they bringing, and Enzo's looking jacked, by the way.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let me say something too. Enzo Amore is one of those guys who got fired and shouldn't have been fired.
He got
he got fired for an accusation being made that came out was false, and they didn't bring him back, and that was fucked up. So if he's getting another opportunity and they have Big Cass on board, bro, I'm excited. But why NXT and not bring him right back to the main roster? Unless you're going to use them to help the younger talent. I mean, I'm okay with that too, but
that's what I'm thinking.
I always like Enzo.
He should have showed up. Like, I mean,
I didn't like heel Enzo, but I liked him and Cass together.
But another one, and I think he might be another Andrew Dice Clay, where he's like actually Jewish pretending to be Italian. But what a pop he would have got in Italy. Like, if he came out during Clash in Italy or Raw, bada boom, realest guy in the room, they'd be,
Well, there were rumors that it could happen in Italy. There were also rumors about Santino. At least we got him in the crowd, but they could have done a segment with him or a backstage, with him screwing up somebody's name.
Cobra. Hit him with the Cobra.
Right. Like something. I mean, the crowd freaked out for Santino.
Yeah, no, I think that there's a lot they could have done with this Clash.
I mean, what if they bring Enzo to NXT, it would be interesting to see an interaction with him and Tony D'Angelo.
Oh. Yeah, because Tony...
He's not really doing the whole mafia thing anymore, but maybe Enzo brings that back out of him.
Or now Enzo is the one that took over, because like he left the family. So what if Enzo is the one that takes over the family, and like Dimes or Stacks or Rax or Chico or whatever the other guy is comes back, or they release him. They might have released him.
I don't know.
But the idea of those guys getting back together, whether it's whatever company, because there was ideas like when Big Bill first came over to AEW, they're like, oh man, Enzo should come over. And I think there was, it's just another thing where he got rat fucked and everybody knows it. And it just took almost 10 years to rectify the situation. It's screwed up.
It's really sad because it was proven to be false accusations, and it derailed his whole career, and it's a shame. But on WWE's end, you're a public company. You have to react. Yep. But when things came out that it was false, you should have extended the olive branch, and you should have said, hey, you were found innocent, you should come back.
Yeah, and I know
they never get. I mean, there had to have been more to it. He must have pissed somebody off.
I think that I heard that he pissed off Roman Reigns one time. They were on a tour bus somewhere internationally, and I guess Enzo was talking on his cell phone loudly and like basically putting himself over to whoever it was on the phone, kind of making himself sound like a bigger deal, or like this. Again, this is from the perspective of somebody who didn't like Enzo, who was reporting it to the dirt sheets. Their perspective was Enzo was putting himself over on the phone, making himself sound like a big deal and making it sound like everybody else ain't shit. And it rubbed Roman the wrong way. And that's what kind of started the downfall. And then when this thing happened with the accusation, they were like, you know what? People, they already don't like him backstage. Screw it. He's gone. And they used that as justification. But man, just like CM Punk or anybody else, if it makes dollars, it makes sense. I think Enzo coming back is big business for NXT, could be big business for the main roster. If they get Big Bill back, that's even better. Listen, I had high hopes.
What they should do is do it separately. Like have Enzo come back. Enzo's in a feud. Enzo's getting double, triple, quadruple teamed. And then all of a sudden you hear the music and Big Cass comes in for the save and you reunite Big Enzo and Big Cass. And I mean, shit, not for nothing. Maybe you throw an offer out to Carmella and say, hey, why don't you come back and rejoin Enzo and Cass? I know her and Cass had, a long history, but, I mean, it's been a long time. Maybe they can work together.
And I also think Bill's probably, he's in a better place. He's gone through, the program. He's come out the other side. He's a sober guy now. And I know that affected his wrestling. It affected his health. It affected his fitness and all that stuff. It all trickles down. And when he came into AEW, I was really hoping that he found his footing as a singles guy, and it really didn't take off. He's just got the problem of he's a pretty good talker. But when you put him with Enzo, who's a great talker, it elevates the whole thing. When he's by himself, he is good. He's fine. But he's not
great.
It's peanut butter and jelly, baby. You know what I mean? They just work better together.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. All right. Well, what about you? Anything else that we haven't mentioned that we wanted to before we take it home?
So this is absolute speculation. Take it with the hugest grain of salt possible. But last week, Evil Uno, who is in charge of the AEW Games YouTube channel, podcast, etc., said that AEW Games channel is going on a hiatus. They're going to stop producing videos for the moment. The two people who were really behind it the most were Adam Cole and Evil Uno. And they, already kind of do a lot of stuff. The speculation online is that either Austin Creed, formerly known as Xavier Woods, is going to be taking over the AEW Games channel, or it will be a collaborative effort with Uno, Cole, and Creed. And he's going to help take that AEW video gaming channel into the direction of like an up, up, down, down.
Interesting.
There's no proof to that other than Uno saying that AEW Games is going on a hiatus. But AEW, there was a promo between the Young Bucks and Chris Jericho a couple weeks ago where they were trying to decide on a trios tag team name. And they came up with two different names, the Bucks of Jericho and the something else. And they kept saying, two names, one team, two names, one team. Who are those two names and what's that one team? I don't know if we know what their name is going to be yet, but I know their names are Kofi and Austin, and I know that they're probably going to be making an appearance very, very soon.
We kind of knew that was coming.
Yeah, they're teasing it, but they haven't. That's the last tease was a couple weeks ago before the pay-per-view. So, listen, man, I know we can't get Big E back, but the idea of because now Motor City Machine Guns are not in WWE, and the New Day are not in WWE. The ability to have the Motor City Machine Guns the Young Bucks, the New Day, FTR, and Edge and Christian all in the same tag team division.
That's
Holy
insane.
shit.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
What people want, and I'll leave you with this because we got only a few minutes left. What people want to see happen, there was that pay-per-view where Adam Cole made his surprise debut. They did the lights out, lights on thing, and he debuted as part of the Elite. And then, like 5 minutes later, Bryan Danielson debuted.
Mm-hmm.
They want that, but with the tag team division. So, like, Motor City Machine Guns make a surprise debut and interfere in like a Young Bucks match, and then whatever we're calling them, the New Day or whatever, they make their surprise appearance on the same show. So, like, right then you have like,
what are they going to call them?
I don't know.
The Bad
That's
Day.
such a good question.
The Day.
It could just, they could just go Kofi and Creed for a little while.
Oh, that's
until
true.
They figure it out.
Well, can they use Kofi?
Kofi's his real name. He can't use Kingston.
Oh, okay.
He can use Kofi, but he can't use Kingston. And
so Kofi and Creed, that works.
Right. And Xavier Woods is done because that's a WWE name. But Austin Creed, the name he used he was so smart. He used Austin Creed on the indies, and he used Austin Creed as his YouTube and his Twitch, all that streaming stuff name.
Yeah.
And he built a brand with Austin Creed. So that he prepared himself for this moment. He can go out there to whether it's a television network or whatever and have that
brilliant.
name.
Yeah, no, he's brilliant.
I mean, he's a legit. I think he's got a doctorate. Like he's got a doctorate in psychology or something. So smart kid.
He's very.
I wish. I'm hoping against hope. We have all of these tag teams in AEW.
It'd be amazing.
Because they're not doing anything with them in WWE, unfortunately. WWE used to have some great tag team divisions at different points in the 80s, 90s, etc. And it's fallen by the wayside. So if AEW can pick up that slack, I'm all for it.
Giddy up. It's going to be exciting to watch. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the top of the hour.
Hey, we did it, guys. We made it to the top of the hour for another edition of the War Report After Dark. We do this thing every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So wherever you are, just adjust your clock to that. If you want to watch the live stream, you can go to our Facebook or our YouTube page. Type in Tag Me a Date in the search bar on YouTube. Hit subscribe and notification bell. Or if on Facebook, you go to the search bar, type in Tag Me a Date. You'll find our page. You hit the thumbs up or the follow button, and the live stream will show up in your news feed. If you prefer an audio version instead of the video version, you can always go to your favorite podcast app, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, whatever you want to do. Search for the War Report. Search for Tag Me a Date. You'll see the logo that's in the top right corner. Our names will be in the description. Hit the subscribe button, and Steven or Ryan will grab the audio between Tuesday and Wednesday and upload it. As long as you're subscribed, you have to do nothing else. They will, as soon as that audio is uploaded, it gets sent right to your phone or your tablet. And if you want to follow us on social media, it's at Tag Me a Date, all one word. That's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter/X. And if you want to follow us on TikTok, search for the War Report Podcast and hit that follow button. We post shorts and reels of what we talked about this week in preparation for next week's show. And with all that being said, I want to thank everybody, especially the new commenters who chimed in today. Leave a like or a share on your way out. It helps with the algorithm. We'll see you guys next week, next Tuesday, 9 Eastern, for another edition of the War Report After Dark. Have a great week, everybody.